sorry, please don't forget, I am not a motivational speaker. I'm just saying. So I might not sound as nice as the people that you will listen to. In fact, I was telling Pastor Alpha that I don't really like cameras. I don't like, I'm not used to it. So, first misconception about business, first and foremost, most of the people here are a bit young, which is something that I really, really appreciate. There's a misconception that anything, and that's the first one, whether it's an assumption or a presumption, anything that brings in money is business. That's the assumption. Someone will say, what do you do? He say, I'm doing business. So, stupidly, I will ask, and I'll be like, what business do you do? The person will say, I have a shop in so and so. I will not be confused. I will say, but I thought you said you do business. The person will say, yes, I just told you what I do. You see, when we were young, we used to have people that we will come up, what does your father do? And you will say, my father is a businessman. But someone else will come and say, my father is a trader. There was trading back then. So, trading is not business. Hustling is not business. In fact, this is the very funny part. I wrote something. Back then, we had carpenters. Then we had furniture makers. Now everybody is a furniture maker. Back then, we had bricklayers. And then we had builders. Now everybody says they are builders. Back then, we had people who say, I have a shop. Now everybody will say, I'm going to my office. You understand? You understand? Back then, you will have people who say, what do you do? I sell something. Now, what do you do? I'm a marketer. There are two different things. If you are not a business person and you say you're a business person, the challenge is this. Just because money is coming in, somehow, people can now put you in charge of businesses and you will fail. If you're a tailor, it doesn't mean that you're a fashion designer. So that's the first assumption. Everything is money. As long as money is coming in, then I'm a business person. It doesn't work like that. I've even heard contractors saying that they do business. If you're a contractor, you're a contractor. You are not a business person. Second misconception, or assumption, or presumption, or something. Anything works. It's an assumption. Anything works as long as you have enough money. It's very funny. As a consultant, I have many people who come up to me and they will say something and I will say it won't work. The person will say, but I have money now. That thing, I do not understand it. What is the correlation between having investment and being able to do business? I do not understand it. I had this friend back then. We're in secondary school together. He traveled out, came back after 16 years. And he said he wanted to start a fish farm. So I called him. I had become a consultant back then. So I called him. I said, are you sure you know what you're doing? He said, yes, now I brought enough money. I didn't understand. So in my mind, I was like, okay, how does that correlate? Okay. So he now told me, okay, what do you do? He said, okay, can you help me make a business plan? I said, okay, no problem. We'll start from there. So I made a business plan, but before I got back, he had gotten another business plan through his mom. And so I told him, I said, okay, no problem. Can I check that business plan? And I saw it, and I told him that this is not going to work. And he repeated that statement that listen, I brought enough money. So I said, okay. That was maybe like 13 years ago. He lost over 7 million naira. It didn't work. And then he now saw me like 3-4 years later and now told me that his mom was part of the people who probably duped him and this blah, 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 blah. So I told him, I said, okay. Now, because this is the nicest me. Nicest me. So with my friends, I may be critical. I might even tell you that you're stupid. And so I probably blasted him. And so the next time he was going to come was maybe like 3-4 years later. And he told me that I was setting up to go into another business. That thing confuses me. And I asked he said, I've gotten money again. Now he's doing something on YouTube. He wants to have a TV station on YouTube and this thing, get enough followers. He probably has maybe like 150 people and he's needing millions. So he called me. And I told him, Shegun, stop calling me. Go and get enough money and do it again. He said, yes, that's what he's looking for. You see, there's an error that somebody, I don't know whether it was when he traveled out, but somebody has put in an error message. How many people do programming and all of that? Programming, computer language, blah, blah, blah. Okay, nobody. Okay, you do. Once there's an error, once you get to that place, the thing will just be looping. You understand? And me, I didn't want to debug him. It's not my place to remove that error. Because semi-literacy, it might take you years to remove that single error. So my friend is still doing it. In case you see this thing, you know, I don't think it will work. I had this friend too, Demola. Demola had a school. Still has a school. And when I took you, because I wasn't really seeing anybody until I took you, so it now forced me to be on one spot. So one day he came to see me and I asked him, I said, the school is not too far from where I stay. So I strolled down to the school. I found out the school was in a terrible condition. And he said, listen, I'm already submitting my CVs to different schools. I mean, I said, well, you're the owner of this. And he said, listen, if only I can get money. So I was like, okay. So you feel you need money? He said, yes. That with money, this will work. He said, yes. I said, where will you spend the money? He said he doesn't really know, but he just feels that if he gets investment now, everything will work. Then I now told him that, okay, I can't give you investment. I'm sorry. Then he now called me secretly, and I remember telling the two people that followed me, and he now told me that even that place is cost. I was confused. I said, which place? He said, the place that I'm using for... Hello? Hello? Okay. Hello? Okay. So he said the place was cost. That if he, every week, he wasn't getting enough students. So every week, he brings in a new pastor to come and pray, hoping that students will come. So I told him, I said, okay, let's do this. Let's partner together. And the school had 14 students. So I said, let's partner together. And within a year, I will get you 150 students. So the guy told me, he said, I can still remember what he said. He said, listen, Tunde, you don't get it. In fact, I am willing to give you the school and become your employee. I said, I'm sick. I can't do anything now. Within 3 months, we had gotten 70 students. So after 3 months, he called me and he said that 3 prophets came to see him and said he should not have partners. So I told him, I said, okay, it's normal, it's fair that this instance. But I told him something. I said, and I'm so sure that he will take it that this is the pastor talking. I said, your school will not grow larger than this. Now, if you were there, you would think that I cursed him or I prophesied. No. You see, when I came into the school and I went back, I came up with 32 strategies for the school to grow. I used two. So it wasn't a spiritual issue. I just knew that it won't grow. Till now, the school does not grow bigger than 70 students. It's stuck on 70. My friend has this belief that the big schools that he's seeing is because they have money. He still does not know what he's doing. So anything that you do, even if you have enough money pumped in, it doesn't mean that it's going to work. I had someone call me, a particular school. That was when I was just coming back from the sickness. The sickness was a long time. And the school called me and I went there. They had spent 60 million naira. So they called me and I came into the school and I told the person immediately, this won't work. And the person said, no, you've not seen. I said, it won't work. And the person asked me, said, why? I said, number one, you build this fantastic structure. The guy said, yeah. I said, and you forgot to build a playground. You have a capacity for 300 students. Your playground can only take like 10 students. It's not going to work. Bye-bye. The man called me and said, maybe there are some things that we can do. I said, it won't work. It won't work. Except you probably buy an adjacent plot of land and use it. Once you do that, you can call me. Unfortunately, when I leave some places, they feel, imagine, the guy is so arrogant, so full of himself. We will do it. And most times it doesn't work. Assumptions, presumptions. For that person, the person spent 60 million based on an assumption. Put AC in the school, put all of that. The school is still not working. Till now. Okay, so if you notice, everything that I've been saying, there's no need to have written it. I've written the first one, I didn't write the second one, but you will notice that I'm really talking like a pastor, which I told you at the beginning that I really don't like to be addressed as. So I'm going to do something, and I'm going to explain why this board is here, why I needed the board. This one is not an assumption, but it's something that you see. There are 4 levels. I'm bringing you up to a particular. There are 4 levels of impartation. 4 different levels impartation. The first one is encouragement. And I can come here and just encourage you. And people like encouragement. That's what motivational speakers do. They leave you feeling good. And you really like it. I've talked with your pastor. Most people that share truth, it becomes very difficult to even do this, the first level of encouragement. Because they can't lie. When something is not good, they will tell you. And it might feel harsh. But I often tell people, don't when they are going through stuff, I tell them, do you really need me or you need a motivational speaker? Because you can go online and just listen to a motivational speaker and just feel good. It doesn't solve the problem, but at least you feel good. That's one level of impartation, which is fantastic. Now, for the young people of nowadays, and I say this. You have been encompassed with motivational speaking. Only God can save you. Sincerely. Because it will build you up to one point where if anything goes wrong, you won't know what to do. And you would constantly feel that everything is going to come out looking rosy. But that is one level. Encouragement. The second one, which will make you laugh, is actually motivation. Now, this is weird. Because you expect motivational speakers to be giving motivation, but they are actually giving encouragement. And motivation is different from encouragement because motivation challenges you. It challenges you. And most times, it is one-on-one. That's where counseling, that's where books are. This generation don't even read. So you can't be motivated. And motivation is more difficult than encouragement. But most times it is better to have a one-on-one. Because if you are truly motivated, the key word there is motive. Motive. What is your motive for doing this? And the person challenges you. An encouragement speaker does not challenge you. Just tells you, go and do it. I see you going somewhere. I see you going somewhere. The third level is training. And training is when skills are passed. That's where courses are. That's where training, real training. That's where guidance is. Now, because I said 4, most times you only get these 3, but I'm going to say the 4th one. This one is real life and it is fast. Most people will not understand this, but I'm going to explain it. Let's speak farming. Let's imagine that what you want to do is farming. Please, if you can put your phone on vibration or distant, I will appreciate it. Thank you, Manuel. Let's speak farming. The government have been telling people, go into farming. That's encouragement. But just because they've been saying that you should go into farming does not mean that you should not check your motive. That is farming ideal for me, or is it ideal for somebody else, or should I go into farming, or will I be kidnapped on the? That's where motivation comes in. Is it worth it? Should I go into farming? Now, training is when you go for the courses on farming. It's still making sense. Now, the tools is when somebody actually hands over the hose and the cutlass. Now, if you notice something, if somebody starts you here, this becomes easy. If somebody gives you the tools, this does not waste time. Your generation is missing tools and somebody is psyching you here. You're not going anywhere. Tools will cut down your time that you are wasting on levels 1, 2, 3. When I was younger, how many people know 4-figure table? Oh, fantastic. I hated it, eh? But you had to learn it. Now, and I got to the university. I was still using my, if you tell me 169 multiplied by 13, give me maybe like 30 seconds, I will do it. Because we had to use our heads to be calculating and be doing all of that. And I was using my head to do square roots. And I mistakenly learned, I was scoring 99 in maths. I was that brilliant. Until I got to the university, they now introduced calculator. One tool made my genius look stupid. Because when I'm still calculating 169, somebody has pressed it and said, that's the answer. One tool rubbishes this. One tool. But this is how we are as a people, as humans, and especially as Africans. The challenge is we still have lecturers, we still have people, we still have everybody will focus you on this and tell you you need to find a way to get this. We could have introduced the calculator since when they were in primary 1. But we need to suffer you because we too we suffered. So if you come around me and you're using calculator, I will still be angry with you because I suffered. But I will tell you 2 reasons why people don't give tools. It's not a Nigerian thing, it's not an African thing, it's a concept on the earth. Number 1, immediately the tool is given, you don't need the person who gave you the tool again. Immediately, no matter how much of a professor I am in mathematics, the day I give you the calculator, you don't need me anymore. And as humans, we need to be needed. But the second thing is this. The first thing is, you don't need me anymore. And the second one is, you need to serve to get it. This is so difficult for the people of this generation. I have people coming up to me and saying, I want you to mentor me. I have 5 other mentors. And I will say, I don't mentor people. And the person will be angry. And I'll be like, why are you angry? The person will say, I know you have things that you should give me. I'll be like, so what's my benefit? The things that I've acquired over 20 years, why should I give you? The person will be like, why should you not give me? Now, I feel as if some people are looking at me as if, so he is part of them. He is part of the evil people that we are talking about. Please, open your Bibles to Matthew 16. Matthew 16. Matthew 16. If you're on Matthew 16, go to 18. I will read it here, but so that you'll know that I'm not lying to you. Verse 18 says, and this was Jesus Christ talking to Peter, and he says, and I say unto you, you are Peter, upon this rock will I build my church. I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail. Now, it's not 18 that I'm going, but I'm just building towards something. And 19, he said, and I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Now, and whatsoever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatsoever you loose on earth shall be loosed. Listen, it is not by prayers. It is by those keys. If you have those keys, you can lose anything on earth and it shall be loosed in heaven. Even if you are an unbeliever. That's why the church still does not understand why Bill Gates is richer than an average pastor. He has the keys. An average pastor does not. So you can pray. Jesus Christ deliberately said, he said, I'm going to, he didn't say, listen, you will be able to prophesy. He said, I'm going to give you certain keys. And with those keys, you'll be able to open doors. When I was growing, I mistaken that, and I remember telling Pastor Alpha, he laughs at me, probably because of his own background too. When I gave my life to Christ, I didn't know, so people shouldn't laugh at me. The first 1 year, I read the Bible back to back 10 times. I didn't know that is not how it is. If I had known, I would have been taking it very gently. But I thought, there was fire. I was just reading. So after some time, I started hearing people say, prayer is the key. So stupidly, I will ask, the key to what? And they will say, prayer is the key. I say, to what exactly? I've read the Bible over. It's not in the Bible. Emotionally, it makes sense, but it's not the truth. If you find keys in the area of chemistry, you become a professor. If you find keys in the area of farming, your farm will grow. If you find keys in the area of business, things will work. If you don't, you are going to be visiting Pastor Alpha day in, day out. That's the truth. And unfortunately, in this generation, I don't know, I think it's the internet. Everybody feels that, listen, things just work. Somebody comes online, someone like him says, listen, I'm this old and this. And one 18-year-old boy is thinking, see, everything that Pastor Alpha knows, at least give or take, within 3 years now, I should know. In my mind, I'm like, okay. There are some keys that life has delivered to some people. And you see them controlling some things, and the truth is, you will say, very soon. Now, I need to read 13 to 17 for you to get it. Jesus Christ was talking to the same Peter, to the same disciples, and Peter in 16, Peter said, listen, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus Christ said, listen. It's not God that flesh and blood has not revealed this, but my Father which is in heaven. And upon you, please notice 18 now. Upon you will I build my church. If you don't determine in your heart to serve Pastor Alpha, you are not going to get his keys. This is Jesus Christ talking, telling Peter that, listen, the only reason why I'm going to give you the keys is because you are going to serve me. Before, I don't know how many people are. Before, when you when you go and learn barbing, it took 3-4 years. Now it's 2 weeks. And you say you are good. It takes the first 2 years before the barber releases to you his keys. If you live in 2 weeks, you go and set up, and the place will close down. And then you will hear that barber must be using juju in his own place, and he has not released the keys to you. Don't go out prematurely. It's not that you are not good enough, and it's not that I can't give you, but the way the earth is that seed, time, and harvest. It's not seed and harvest. You say, I've sown, I don't know, I should have reaped the harvest. I mean, if this man, the truth is, life has given some people some keys. They don't owe you anything. You must serve to the point where they release it. There are people who have been under Bishop Oyedepo in the ministry for a long time. And then a certain Pojo Yimade will come and will take the keys. And Bishop didn't release it to some other people. If you don't serve, if you don't think, most of the people who come to ask me to mentor them, they don't think of what I will gain. They feel he's a big boy already now. So I'm just coming to. Jesus Christ could have just blessed Peter with it. He said, listen, upon you will I be. You are going to suffer for me. That's why I'm releasing the keys to you. Unfortunately, that, like I said, please understand. Please, whoever is watching me, I am not a motivational speaker. So let me clean this so that I can show you one tool in business. Tool in business. One tool. How the whole business world works. How what you call business actually works. Okay, this is it. Now, this is the beauty of a tool. By the time I finish, you'll be like, I know it now. I know it. Lizzie, you know it, Abi? Okay, you don't know it. But you know why I mentioned your name. Okay. So, let me use a different pen to write stuff in it. The first one is the idea. And people know this part. There's a part in the business world where the idea comes into your head. And the idea of the product is, this is a product. This is a product. This building is a product. Farming is a product. This fan is a product. You know what I normally do? Lizzie, no, I'm talking. If I was you, I can just stroll around. You understand? Don't worry. It might be the fun. So this is what I want every single person to do. I would like you to come up with 10 products. I will explain why. Just write 10 products. 10 products that you would like. If I were to give you enough money right now, name 10 products, 10 businesses that you would like to do. 10 products that you would like to start. And yes, you can write church. It's a product. Training is a product. Michael, you're even thinking of the product. That's difficult. Just write 10. Just write 10. Now, if you are looking at these two people, Emmanuel and Tosin, they are not writing anything. Especially for Tosin, because Tosin came all the way from Ibadan. And we had the same session a while ago. And she came up with 35 different products. So don't worry, just do 10. So, 10 different products. 10 different products that you feel that someone might need and you can make money from. You can do cakes, you can make bread, you can do stuff. The things that I wrote here, I wrote bread, I wrote water, I wrote training, I wrote clothes, I wrote church, I wrote kidnapping. Yes. Kidnapping is a product. Just because you don't like it does not mean that it is not a product. Blowing people up is a product for, if you were to go to the North now, meet any Boko Haram person and say, I can blow myself up. They will pay you. In business, your mind has to be open. I remember when I was telling Tosin the same thing. She was like, nah. I think she probably felt that I would not be able to say it in church. So now I'm saying it in church. And you see, fire has not. Kidnapping is a product. So I'm going to assume that you finished your 10 products. It's just 10 products that you would really wish to start if you had enough money. 10 products. So I'm going to assume that you finished. So I'm going to move to the second circle. Now, this is a bit more difficult because the second circle has to do with the technicals. Okay. We need somebody who will come up with a product of markers, good markers, because, so the second one is the technical skills. That is needed to make what you have written. And now, this is the very funny part. Motivational speakers will tell you that if you can think it, you can have it. Most times they don't tell you the technical part is very difficult. If you want to make bread, you have to set up a bakery. You have to employ people in that bakery. You have to pay their salaries. You have to do this and do that. You have to be up by 6 a.m. You have to do all of that. So the technical skills starts making this a bit more difficult. A bit more difficult. So when you mention baking, let me just talk about somebody who says tailoring. And tailoring is difficult. Even just getting different designs. You go online, you search, does it fit this person? And tailoring becomes difficult. The concept is good in your head, but it becomes difficult when it comes to real life. So in this place, you start asking yourself, technical skills, that do I want the wahala associated with this particular product? You've written 10, but you might realize that some of those products have serious wahala that you still need to do. Let me give you one. Now, if you go into kidnapping, they might shoot you. So it really made sense here, but it stops making sense here. If you do Yahoo, it makes a lot of sense. But EFCC might capture you and you spend 21 years. So it doesn't really make sense. If you start a bakery and somehow the place is hot and you don't like heat, you might realize that, no, this is not my calling. If you are somebody who is naturally lazy and you mistakenly go and start maybe fashion designing and the people are asking for their clothes on time, you might realize that that's not where your calling is. So you have so many people, especially this generation, people have lofty ideas here. But when they get to this place, they realize that these things don't make sense for me. But it's about finding something that makes sense for you. Please, I'm not talking of passion. All those, once you are passionate about it, once you are passionate about banking, it will just happen by itself. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm sorry. Even if you choose church and there's money in church, but you see, if the devil attack you one time, all that is needed is just one time. You understand? If you do police, there's a possibility that you'll be getting all those small tips. Thank you. We don't call them bribes anymore. We call them tips. Until they now post you to the east. And those guys are just killing police. That's when you tell, I want to resign. They say, no, you have to give notice of 3 years. And they've already posted you there. So it is when people get here that they keep saying that the business is failing. No, before you started, you didn't look at the wahala that will come from this place. So people have wonderful ideas here, and then when they get here, they say, Pastor Alpha, I just need you to anoint these places. Bill Gates does not anoint his operating software. I don't know why. People selling cars in Toyota, they don't anoint the cars before they start shipping them out. But you'll be selling rice and beans, and you have to anoint each seed, or else people will not buy it. Something is wrong. If you know you don't like sitting in one place, don't sell beans and rice. You will sit in one place. My work as a consultant makes me stay at home practically all the time. I have friends who will say, I don't know how you are doing this. You just be at home and you just be thinking things. That me, I like to move around. So I'll be like, I have no problem with what you are doing. I don't like it. That's why I went into this. I am not against whatever you do by virtue of how God created you. But don't push it on somebody and say, listen, this is working for sister so and so, let me also go into it. You are going to fail. Till some time ago, in my lifetime, I've read close to 4,000 books. And you know, it's something that we joke about. I've had migraine for the last 15 years. And it seems to never go. Went to see the doctor said, you need to stop reading. At least I used to read an average of 2 management books a day. These are 300 pages books. And I will have to finish them. And doctor will say, don't. But you see, the point is this. It's what I chose. The same way the kidnappers chose to be shot. The same way, if you are going to be going into, you must know that this is going to happen. Heavy prayers, going to the mountain will not stop this. If you go to the mountain and you receive a powerful idea, come down from the mountain and face this one. Because it might be the devil trying to kill you. I remember that, like I said, she came all the way from Ibadan. And at one point in time, I think that was the second day or the third day, when we were brainstorming and doing stuff, she said, hold on. I said, what? Say headache. I said, I've been having it for close to 15 years. So don't tell me about headache. Welcome to the gang. Let's continue. Then she came one day and she said, something happened to my brother and I need to tell you about it. Remember what I said? I said, I don't need to hear. Something is also happening to my own brother too. And I didn't tell you. And I'm continuing. David's technical skills led him into the bush. Joseph's technical skills led him into Kirikiri. Stop asking for the blessings of Joseph. It will take you to Kirikiri. Sincerely. One motivational speaker will say, before you get to the palace, you go to the district, you go to the district. That prison, they will not say it fast. You go from the prison, you go to the pit, you go to the... You might not leave the prison. I have people who feel that I support Buhari, but I don't really support the president. Not in everything, but I was telling her, I said, how many people know how many ministers we have? Sorry? Okay. Sorry? No, you said so. Don't worry, don't worry. You are allowed to be wrong. Don't worry. I'm not totally always right. So, okay. Um, there has to be one for each state. So, you have nothing less than 36. So, when they do meetings, I want you to appreciate these guys. When they do meetings, each of the ministers, to give a review, spends 30 minutes. So their meetings is 18 hours straight. Straight. Nobody sleeps for 18 hours. If I talk to you longer than 2 hours, you start sleeping. These are 80-year-old guys still doing 18 hours straight. That's why God cannot make you the president. No matter what you're going to receive on the mountain. So if somebody, one motivational speaker is saying, this, look at Buhari, he contested first time, he didn't enter. And then he contested second time, he didn't enter. But I'm telling you, all you need is... Even the motivational speaker cannot do 18 hours. The old people, they cannot sleep. And this is just 30 minutes. Sometimes, some ministries will need 1 hour. The average big boy that I know will tell you that they sleep 3 hours a day. I remember someone telling me, said, the way you say these things, it's so difficult. I said, success is difficult. Oh, but don't forget, like I said, I'm not a motivational speaker. So don't worry. Probably at the end, I will sound like a motivational speaker so that you will live with the impression that I'm a good person. You understand? So in the technical skills, you have people who can do 8 to 5 jobs. It's not bad. I mean, it's not bad at all. Please, can someone help me fix this? Sorry. I think it's opened. Thank you. Thank you. That's the problem of not having a wife yet. That should have been done at home. So, do you really want to do this for the next 10 to 20 years? So out of the 10, you need to look for the one that doesn't look difficult for you, that doesn't look risky, that doesn't look stressful, that doesn't look funny to you. So I'm going to move to the third part. At least you will have been able to see these 2 parts in the business world, so it's not new. Now we are now coming to the tougher parts. The business skills is different from the technical skills, which you use in making something. And the big companies that you see, it's not about what they make. It's about the business skills they have. And I will explain it better like this. How many people know how to cook? You really know how to cook, like really, really. That means if you cook rice, that means it will taste better than Mr. Big's rice. Yes, Abi. But do you have the kind of money that Mr. Biggs have? And that's the point. Almost any lady can cook better than some of this fast food. But you are not making that kind of money because there are business skills that you don't. You are better in the technical skills, but you don't have the business skills. Without business skills, you'll be a one-man show. See, without the business skills, go back to that mountain Even if you're a pastor, it won't grow. It won't grow. The whole essence of this place is to grow things. It multiplies anything that it is given. Now, let me quickly tell you, this side has 12 different, this particular circle has 12 different sides. Now, this one has one, this one has one, which, I mean, makes a lot of sense. Yes, please. Yeah, okay. You have planning, you have strategy, you have marketing, you have sales, you have customership, you have consumership, you have finances, you have technology, you have this, you have that. You have 12 that you need to master. If you don't master it, someone else will come and beat you at your own game. And it takes an average of 10 years to master this. Like what I said, I am not a motivational speaker. I am not. There used to be one time that was when I was still a bit foolish. Before I would back then, if I would take you up to say I want to mentor you, I would tell you to go and first read 300 books minimum in this area. I didn't know that was a lot. I would just notice that the person won't come back. You understand? And God did not minister to me that this the way they do. So funny enough, like 2 years ago, I was telling my friend this, that. And the guy said, you are still mentioning this 10 years. He said, you have to come down. So I came down. So in my office, if I'm getting a new associate, I will tell him that I'm so sure that within maybe like 2 years, 3 years, the person will still run. In my mind, I'll be like, so I saw the same friend again. The guy said, hey, tell them 3 months, maximum. Because this generation, they can't see 10 years down the line. If you go online, they will still tell you that it takes 10 years to achieve mastery in any area. You can go online and Google it. They will tell you. It takes 20 years to be a guru in any field. There's no way around it. So this is what most people do. Thinking that they are going to find a way around this. They start something. A year down the line, the thing is not working. So they switch to something else. And then they start it again. They start another thing again. And then they start it again. And then they start it again. Different things. That's even for this place. If you are going to learn this, because there are 12, if you are going to learn sales, you are not going to learn it with nothing less than a year. After you've mastered sales, you now master marketing. I had to spend 4.5 years in a law chamber to understand business legalities. That's 4.5 years of my life. So somebody will now come and say, sir, I see you as my mentor. I see you as my role model. If you just give me these things, I will show you where I'm going. I will show you. And I'm like, okay. And I will say, listen, can we sign something that will tie you down for 10 years? My friend says, sir, will you be around tomorrow? I quickly want to rush down somewhere, and I don't mind. I'm not an evil person. I allow people go. Somebody came to work with me. I think that was last year. And after 2 weeks, I heard him calling his dad. His dad happens to not be in Lagos. So he was telling the dad, this, sir, that this thing, there are some properties we need to sell now, and this thing. I was just listening on the conversation because he said, because now I'm a consultant and this thing. I was confused. I was like, when he finished the call, I said, I don't get. He said, I'm a consultant now. I said, in 2 weeks. I said, wow. And it took me over 15 years for me to be able to call myself because, wow. Your generation is blessed. So, you have 12 different skills that you need to master. But the challenge for this generation is this is where big money comes from. It is in this circle. You see, I don't know whether you heard something. They will say, when I tell people not to have multiple products, they will say, but Dangote has many products. He has cement, he has this, he has that, he has that, he has this. They don't know that Dangote is sitting here. He's not sitting here. He doesn't bloody know anything about the products that he's producing. I don't know how to do anything. I don't even know how to drive. My younger sister used to criticize me and say, how does it feel knowing that you don't know anything? I said, the beauty of it is, when I was starting, I knew I was not going to know anything. And please understand, I am not against people who are here and who are enjoying themselves here. But this is where big business is. So don't believe any motivational speaker that says, if you grow this for a long time, it will just become Dangote. You will not become Dangote. If you don't learn this, you are not going to become Dangote. Dangote he didn't start from here. He went to a business school at the age, he finished business school at the age of 21. That part of the story, it seems as if most people don't really understand it. And motivational speakers will be telling you, see, I see that small business that you're doing. I see it growing. I see it manifesting. I see dollars coming. If you don't know this, maybe I should clean out that 10 years. I should leave it there. You see, these 10 years, you will get it now. Let me use another analogy. I'm not married, but when I talk to young people, nowadays, people who want to get married, and I tell them that this is where wedding is. It's one day, it's simple. This is where the problem is. It's the 10 years of just going through it. And this is difficult. So I'm not against people who stay here. Please understand though, I am not against people who stay here. People who have their one shop, they wake up early in the morning, they go, they sew, they sell bread, they do. I am not against them. But I am against the person. Because I've talked to one person before, a Marwa rider, who is saying, listen, Oga, don't belittle me. Tomorrow I can just be Dangote. I don't. If he was to be given 100 million, I wouldn't even know what to do with it. And he's saying tomorrow. If you ask anybody close to anybody, they will tell you that Dangote rarely stays a whole day in any country where his investments are. It's constantly flying, constantly trying to look at this, look at that, look at administration, look at the strategies, look at this, look at, and they are constantly doing all of this constantly. When somebody who sits in the shop says, listen, Dangote is my role model. Can't even manage 50 people on staff. And these people are managing 50,000. So the last one, so that we can move away from here, the last one is investments. This one people like. It's just money. Investments. It's just money. You understand? Now, the one that makes me laugh is when I see somebody coming from here and saying that if only I have money. I don't know whether you heard it. Somebody who has a shop or this instant will go and meet an uncle and will say, uncle, I want you to raise me money and this instant. When you are talking, if the uncle is really rich, the uncle will know that you are talking from here and not from here. The money will not come back. Nobody borrows these people money. It's a waste of time. They can't multiply money. And it is painful if you find yourself here, but it's also good. You can build slowly and build. Okay. Yeah. I've spent 1 hour, 15 minutes. Okay, so this is what I'm going to. The question is, and I have said it. The question is, how do you tie everything together? How do you tie everything together to make a world, a business world in itself? You see these ideas, because by the time I finish now, you will think that this is the most powerful. In Vodacom, which is like MTN or something in South Africa, somebody gave them an idea, one of their staff. You understand? I don't know whether you would have seen Call Me Back when you are using your phone and you call somebody and this thing. But it was the person who introduced it to Vodacom, was a staff. So they started using it. They told him that they were going to pay him for the idea in their normal small setting, this thing. They haven't paid him for 20 years. You understand? So he has gone to court to, right now he's suing for 270 billion naira for that one single idea. So sometimes your idea, if it makes sense, is enough to cover for everything. Dangote knows nothing about the refinery. He doesn't need to know. This is where he sits down. It was another person that would do this, another person that would do this, another person that would do this. People think that he has money. Unfortunately, it's other people's money that he's using. So he has investors who are also giving him money because they know that he's going to multiply the money. And then he will ask for ideas and ask for technical partners that will do it. That's how the business world works. So yours might just be one fantastic idea. God bless you. Without this set of people, there's no activity. Because you see, these people, they don't do anything. In fact, I practically don't do anything. When I say that, people feel, I don't do anything at all on a daily basis. It's terrible. I have mandated myself that I should be working 2 days a week. At least. But I basically don't do anything. In December, God himself had to tell me to throw away all my books. All. So I threw them down. There's a well in my compound, so I threw everything into it. And, when I I was throwing it, I was like, and God said, you're not going to marry except you throw away this stuff. Because they become your wife. And thank God that Pastor Alpha too has married, or else he'll be married to his books. So, these people give activities. Without these people, the organization will not grow. But don't let these people fool you too. Because without these other people too, they are only going to sit at home and not do anything. And without investment, all of these people are just running around and talking without these people. So the whole business world works with the four sets coming together. So anybody that you are seeing, that motivational speakers are mentioning, they are not seeing the full picture. Because people like me, you don't see me at all. I like walking around my area and just wearing shorts. And sometimes I take my ride. I just go around and I really like it. And somebody will say, man, I see that your boy. I'm like, yeah. And the person say, but you groomed him and now he's using like 2 cars. And I'm, I know, we are partners. And they're like, yeah. So how come you are not? I'll be like, I need to stay hidden. Because once I am out of this place, I'm going to fade. This will make you laugh. The king, David was brilliant. I really like David. But during his time, if you remember, there were people that they called the sons of Issachar. All they were not fighting. These were guys who were just big boys. They had an understanding of the times. They were coming from this place. They were being fed well. They were feeling cool and this thing. And they never did anything. Yeah. So we're going to close because it's a church and because we want to feel like Christians. We are going to close by opening the Bible. It's not for prayers. At least by now you should have known that I'm not taking you to any mountain. Yes. So I need you to open a Bible scenario that people have read so much and it is wonderful. Matthew 28. Matthew 28. So that at least by the time I finish, you'll be able to tell Pastor Alpha that he finished with the Bible scripture. He didn't just finish and he was just quoting this thing. And so he will now feel, oh, yeah, I was looking at him that he looks like a Christian, but I wasn't too sure. Matthew 28, verse 14. Is it 28? Oh, so sorry. Please, I'm coming. There's this, please, who knows where this story of this man that gave talents in the Bible? Sorry? Okay, Matthew 25. Okay, I wrote 28, sorry. Please, can you open Matthew 25? Sorry, I'm so sorry. Matthew 25, 14. Yes. So I'm just quickly going to read it. It's something that everybody knows, every Christian knows. But for the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country. Now this is Jesus Christ speaking. Who called his own servants and delivered his own servants and gave them goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Then the one that received 5 talents traded it, made 5 other talents. The one that received 2 gained 2. But the one that received 1 went and dug the earth and hid his Lord's money. After some time, the Lord came back and asked them to make a report. The 5 talents came, delivered. Please jump to 24. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I know you are a very hard man, reaping where you have not sown, gathering where you have not planted. And I was afraid and went and hid my talents in the earth. This is it. And the Lord said, you wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap not where I sow and gather where I have not sown. You should have put my money in the bank, and I would have at least received interest. And so he now took the talent and gave to so and so, so and so, so and so. Now, without me talking, at least you would have seen the investor. Please don't, you know, whenever we read this place, we immediately picture God. At least that's what I was taught. We immediately picture God giving people in church talents, like singing, like something. Please, let's be on the same page. The talent in this Bible is not that kind of talent. This talent is money. It's real money. And the talent, when converted, now is worth $1.4 million. Which means that the man, for each talent, even the one that he gave 1 talent, he gave the person 7 billion naira to invest. It's not talent of you being able to clean chair and this thing. That's what we hear in church. That's not in the Bible. But it makes sense. When I become a pastor and I have a church, me too, I'm going to use it. But that's not it. It was real money. It was real money. And so the investor gave them real money. Now that's not the part that he told them to choose their ideas by themselves. And these guys went to work in the technical skills. And 2 of them made money back. They made profit here. And so they could deliver something back to the investor. But the last one did something very weird. He took the money, the investor's money, and said he didn't need it. Which was very weird. So, but when people think about the fact that the guy hid it, people feel that the guy must have been very lazy and didn't do anything. But this is it. He must have been doing something that he was eating with, or he would have died. So, the problem that he had is, he didn't have this at all. So, the money that was given to him, technical skills, that's why I told you that if you are given 100 million naira, most people here will just say, I will take it to the bank. Because I don't know what to do with it. So most people here have technical skills. So you will only use what you have. You won't need an investor's money. So the investor now said, listen, you should have taken it to the bank. At least the people in the bank have business skills. They would have multiplied my money. But there was also something that he said that I've seen in this generation. He said, the reason why I didn't do it is because I knew, and I still know, that you use people. And you see, when I talk to young people now, they say, that man uses people. Nobody uses you. The man is just an investor, and you resent him because you don't understand this place. What you have been given, when you can't multiply it, the earth and the heavens will conspire to make sure that you don't get it again. Like I said, you have to serve and labor for somebody before the person releases. In all fairness, this man released things for all of them. But that person was like, listen, I am not going to use your own because I know that if I use it, you will gain something. The person, somebody took 5 talents, delivered 5 talents. According to the Bible, it sounds as if that's all he made. But that's not it. That was how much he gave back. He could have made 15 talents. The Bible does not say that the man complained that he kept some. The investor does not send you. If I give you 100 million naira and I say, deliver something and you come back with 150 million, I'm still happy because you multiply it. Even if you made 300 million. But this guy was angry. He said, I don't bloody care that you make profit on me. So the investor said, I can't work with you. I can't work with you. And Jesus Christ that was giving that analogy said, this is how the kingdom of heaven works. So this is something that the church should know. And this is a tool. So I'm going to close with one statement. I'm still not a motivational speaker, I'm sorry. I was talking to someone recently, and I said, MC Oluomo. Who knows MC Oluomo? Yeah, you know him. He makes 30 million naira per day. So he makes like $1 billion naira every month. That's how much they submit to him. Tinubu makes like, give or take, maybe like 4 or 5 billion naira per month. And he sits in his house. That is why people are angry at him. Because he knows this. So somebody somewhere is sitting and angry at you. Imagine, I don't know what those people are doing. You can't control the number of staff that MC Oluomo is controlling. You've got to respect him. So if you see your world from here and here, and you don't celebrate these people, you're not going to get it right. Find your place. Grow in your place. In Jesus' name. Thank you. God bless you.